So we're just going to give you an overview of the company. We'll go into our portfolio and we'll talk about some of our near-term catalysts and some of the events we expect to be happening for Empress. So Empress Royalty, we offer a strategic approach to investing in gold and silver. We're listed on the TSXV under the symbol EMPR. Here are our forward-looking statements. They're also available on our website, so I encourage you to look at them in detail, as I will be making forward-looking statements throughout the presentation. So Empress Royalty, we create new royalties and/or streams to get mines either into production or help them expand upon their production capacity. We have a diversified portfolio currently of 17 investments exclusive to precious metals. We're focused on quality over quantity. We're currently generating revenue right now, and we're forecasting over $29 million of revenue over the next 3.5 years. We have a very strong management and board with over 250 years of experience, $6 billion in mining finance transactions, which also provides us with unique access to deal flow. And we're on the path to rapid growth. We've got a strong, robust pipeline now, but we're looking to build that out with a pipeline of opportunities we're currently evaluating at the moment. I mean, we just launched this company 18 months ago, and we've brought these sort of 4 significant investments into the company, and we want to continue to build this out. So what are royalties and streams? A royalty is where we invest in a company and we receive a percentage of revenue from production. A stream is where we invest in a company and we're able to buy silver or gold at a discounted price. Typically, what we've been doing is we pay 20% of spot price, which means we're getting an 80% discount on that gold or silver. And at Empress, we do a combination of both. Each financing solution we provide to companies is very bespoke and structured accordingly to each one. Depends on the overall goals of the company and where they want to grow, of which one makes sense, and also jurisdictionally as well. So the investment benefits to a shareholder for Empress: you're getting leverage to the gold and silver price. You're getting access to a globally diversified portfolio of assets. And compared to typical mining companies, there's limited exposure to capital and operating costs. And it's a scalable growth with low overhead. For a mining company partner that we're investing in, it's attractive to them because it's non-dilutive and a highly competitive cost of capital as opposed to raising equity. And it's much more flexible and less restrictive than doing a typical bank financing. So there's been a lot of new entrants, especially in the last 24 months, into the royalty and streaming space in the junior side. And we view there's sort of 3 different types of royalty and streaming companies. There's the exploration generation or the prospect generators. It's early stage, typically inexpensive to acquire, but there's the exploration risk. No guarantee it'll turn into a mine. And if it does, there's a long lead time to revenue. And the second category is the trading acquisition companies. So they're buying third-party royalties. It already exists, so it's a pretty simple acquisition, but it's become a very crowded marketplace, typically paying a premium and part of a competitive bid process. Also, the other key thing here is there's no direct relationship with the company or opportunity to negotiate the contract. At Empress, we're focused on the creation and origination. We work with mining companies to create a royalty or stream, and we have a direct relationship with that company. We get monthly reporting. We have, usually weekly calls with most of our investment companies. We really know what's happening with the investment and able to manage that risk. And we're also able to create flexible structure that work with the goals of all parties. So whether it's their growth plan, whether it's a private company want to go public, we're really able to work with them to give them the structure that works for them as well as for us, because everybody has to be successful in order for this to work. And we're also really able to focus our investment dollars on producing assets, which brings revenue into Empress. And we really feel that's where the real value of a royalty company comes from. When you look at the royalty company growth, the first chart shows royalty companies outperforming gold, looking at the gold royalty index, the price of gold, and the gold miners ETF over the last 10 years. The second chart shows a life cycle of a royalty company. We're in stage 1. We're just establishing our market presence. We believe with our strategy and with our team and the opportunities we have, we should be able to quickly accelerate into that stage 2 rapid growth. Our investment manager is Endeavor Financial. My background is I'm ex-PwC, and then I joined Endeavor Financial as an analyst, moved my way up through the ranks, become director of structured finance in London for 10 years. So I'm working with my old team at Endeavor. David Rhodes, who's the managing director of the Endeavor Financial Group of Companies, is also our executive chairman. This gives me access to cash flow modelers, financial analysts, investment bankers, geologists, and mining engineers. to not only source opportunities that are unique, but be able to quickly vet them and then structure them and move them forward. The original idea for Empress was, with David and I looking at the streamer companies out there, and most of them are doing much bigger ticket sizes of 100 million north of that. And we found that there's an opportunity to do the smaller streams, sub 25 million. And that's what we're really building out here at Empress, is focus on the smaller producers or near-term producers. Which moves us into our investment focus and criteria. We are looking at production at project stage. We're looking for development and production stage projects. We're looking at small to mid-tier size companies, both private and public. And we're a true precious metals royalty company. We are looking at gold and silver. And we look globally. Right now, we're in Mexico, Peru, and Mozambique, where we're seeing great opportunities. We're continuing to look at the pipeline and other opportunities in Africa and South America. Our investment size mandated is $500,000 to $25 million. The sweet spot for us now, in terms of our evolution of growth, is $2 to $10 million. And all of our investments have a strong ESG focus. Our portfolio, currently 2 producers, 2 development, and 13 exploration. And one of those development assets is now in pre-production, just doing the first gold pour. So that will move into producing very soon when we receive the first revenue. So the first project I want to talk about is a producing mine in Peru. This mine was started by Buenaventura in 2002, purchased by a private group called Sierra Sun Group in 2016. Over 1 million ounces have been produced to date. We made this investment to help them expand the production up to 1,000 tons per day. The investment size was $10 million, which gives us 4.5% of their gold up to 11,000 ounces. And then we have a 1% life of mine stream. Again, we're purchasing at 20% of the gold spot price. When you look at the economics and what this means, it's about $2 million of revenue coming into Empress. The net asset value is about $15 million for us. And throughout the presentation and all of our forecasting projections, we're using $1,750 gold and $21 silver at a 5% discount. So conservatively forecasting there. Moving on this one, we've received over $1 million US to date from this investment we received in revenue. Then we have the Talahuela stream. So we've received the first silver payment on this, and full commercial production is expected by the end of this year, early next year. This project is located in Durango, Mexico, owned by Ultile Mining, and we invested $5 million. We're getting 100% of their silver up to 1.25 million ounces, and then it goes down to 20% of the silver for 10 years. The annual cash flow for us is about $3 million US when it's fully ramped up. The net asset value of that is just under $24 million. The IRR on this is just under 60%. Then we have the Manica gold royalty. This one's located in Mozambique, owned by an operator called MMP. They've done the first couple gold pours now, and full commercial production is expected by the end of this year. We're expecting revenue coming from this very soon. The investment size was $3 million. It gives us a 3.375% royalty up to 95,000 ounces. And then we get a just over 1% life of mine royalty on it. There's currently a 3-year mine life plan, but there's additional upside from satellite deposits. We were just out there about 2 months ago and looking at this. So we expect some significant upside from those satellite deposits. It's located right in the middle of Mozambique on the Zimbabwean border on the west. And you can see how the Zimbabwe gold belt definitely comes across and spills into Mozambique. Annual cash flow for us is $1.5 million. The net asset value is just under $6 million, and the IRR in this is over 30%. We also have a development stage project called Pinos in Zacatecas, Mexico, owned by Candelaria. For $1.5 million investment, we have a 1% royalty across the entire project. There's a mine life plan, which is about 7 years. That's based upon 1 vein out of 7. You can see here some pictures from the current drill program that's going on at the moment. We're expecting results from that soon. And the first picture you can see with a group of guys there that there's a tower in the background. This is an old Spanish gold mine that was operated by some Cornish workings. You can see the background there. So very interesting deposit. We expect this one to get a lot more interesting as they expand this out, and hopefully a production decision will be made in the next 12 months. We also have 13 early-stage gold royalty on exploration projects in Canada. These were acquired as part of our direct listing onto the TSXV as part of our qualifier as an investment issue, which are lovely to have in the portfolio, but we're much more focused on revenue-producing assets. Here is our forecasted revenue for 2022, over $2.5 million, 2023, over 8, 2024, getting closer to over 9, and so on. So cumulatively, that's about $29 million in revenue using the conservative prices I've mentioned for gold and silver over the next 3.5 years. We have invested $19.5 million US into the portfolio to date. Our net asset value of the portfolio is $46 million, and we're trading around $20 million US. So we're trading at a significant discount on all key metrics. Looking at the P/NAV ratio for the sector, it's about 1.05 times. We're trading about 0.44 times. So a significant discount. The team and the people behind Empress, as I mentioned, myself and David Rhodes from Endeavor, and we also have Jeremy Bond from Terra Capital. We're all in the investment committee. We have Natasha Kieran, a mining finance lawyer, Paul Mainwaring, a CFA from London, Wes Roberts, a mining engineer from Toronto. The team, we have, I'm here, Caitlin's joined us, who's our VP Marketing and Investor Communications. We also have Rich, who's our Global Vice President based out of New York. He helps with the origination and sourcing of potential investments and building out our pipeline and turning those into investments. And then Janet Minkle-John just joined us back in May as our CFO. She's had years of experience as CFO building companies out, but also has a lot of good capital markets experience. We have Alison Rippon-Armstrong, who's our ESG advisor, and we also have David Lang, who's our technical advisor. He's had over 35 years of experience, not only operating and building mines, but also on the investment banking side. So very great to have him as a close contact for us. Our capital structure. We currently have 100 million shares outstanding. We have about $1 million US in cash at the moment, and our debt is about 4.8 million. And that's part of a facility we have, an accordion facility we have with Nabari. And it was a $15 million facility. We've drawn down 5. So we have roughly $10 million US we have access to continue to build our pipeline. We have independent research coverage from Red Cloud and Research Capital. And if you want those reports, Caitlin can put you in touch with them to get them. We look at our shareholders. So roughly a third is with our Strategic Partners Management Board, and that would be Endeavor, Terra Management and Board. We have a third with institutional investors. Sprott Asset Management's recently increased their position to 11.5% in Empress, and then roughly a third in the public market float. So near-term catalysts for Empress. Serra Antipite is increasing their production hopefully by the end of the year, we'll ramp up to about 1,000 tons. Talahueto should be in commercial production expected by the end of this year, beginning of next. Manica should also be getting commercial production by the end of the year and should be bringing initial revenue into us in the next couple of weeks. Forecasting over $5 million US in revenue over the next 12 months annualized. And we're continuing to expand the portfolio with a very strong pipeline of opportunities. We're in discussions with 4 different management groups at the moment in data rooms, and hoping exclusivity on some deals that make sense coming up. So to summary, the investment case. We currently have 17 gold and silver royalty and streams with a robust pipeline. We've invested $19.5 million into the portfolio. We've got $29 million of revenue forecasted over the next 3.5 years. The net asset value of the portfolio is $46 million, and we're trading around $20 million US right now.